So good evening, everyone. My name is Kitty Cheng, and I want to welcome you all to this online workshop, Improving and Optimizing Your Gut Health. Today, we're going to discuss some of the things that are, important in helping you to reach longevity and optimal health through the gut, and what are the things that are getting in your way as well. Gut health truly is the secret to great health, and we're going to talk about the road to health is paved with good intestines. So to do that, I have my great friend, business partner, and chiropractor, Dr. Christine House. Some of you know her as Dr. Christine Di Pasquale, discuss alongside me some really important topic when it comes to gut health. And so things like, the mechanical and chemical processes of digestion, the hallmarks of digestive health, risk factors of digestive disorders, the function of gut microbiome, the effects of poor digestion, common gut problems, and how you can improve your gut health, as well as very fascinating topic that I've been doing a lot of reading and research on, and that is brain-gut connection. So for those of you who are on, if you want to let us know out of what I've told you, some of the mini topics, which is one that you're most fascinated with, just type it into the group chat so that we know and we can actually give more of what we're going to be sharing with you. All right, so now let me just share screen, and we will officially get started. Okay. So our topic for tonight is on, digestive health and gut health, which is truly, I believe personally, a starting point with huge benefits. So I'm going to be passing the time for Christine to introduce one of the speakers, and then I'll come back and share.
I would love to introduce you, Kitty. As you mentioned, Kitty and I are business partners, but we're also very, very dear friends. So it's brilliant for me to be able to work alongside you tonight, Kitty. Just to introduce Kitty, she has a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology at the University of Melbourne, Intercultural and Community Studies at Tabor College, and a Diploma of Coaching in Health and Nutrition from Shaw Academy. She's an internet franchise owner, a TLS certified coach, TLS being Transitions Lifestyle Solutions. Pardon, Auntie Anne? Okay. TLS is Transitions Lifestyle Solution, and Kitty runs numerous workshops and communicates with people all over the world with her coaching. She's also a certified trainer and a published author. So you'll have to ask her about her book later. And she's a workshop facilitator and speaker. And it gives me great pleasure to let Kitty start our presentation on gut health tonight.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm just so excited to be doing this alongside you. I just admire, all you have to offer as well. And just real quick, I came from a background of truly health is my very first core value, because I was born with a hole in my heart, which is a congenital heart defect. And because of that, I've always wanted to be healthy since a very young girl. And my two brothers, they were amazing at amazing in their athletic ability. But I was not able to actually do any form of exercise for a long time until I had my surgery. And long story short, I was starting to only do exercise when I was in my mid-20s because of, the condition that I've had. And because also my dad was a very successful and wealthy businessman, but he was not healthy. He would be working way too much to a point that he was overweight and obese, and he died of cancer when he was only 52. Because of all these experiences, my own ill health and my dad's ill health, really caused me to really want to learn anything and everything about health. And hence, all these things that I'm right now so passionate about. Really, I look at it as my life purpose, to be able to help people reach their wellness and weight loss goals. And hence doing things like this, sharing about health and well-being is something I'm really excited about, to be able to, support people. So let's get started with what we are going to be sharing with you, as we talked about, the importance of gut health, because, gut is an area where a lot of people have started doing a lot of research and reading, especially, in the last decade or so. But are you aware that our bodies really need food to provide it with sufficient energy, vitamins and minerals, right? And because of that, we really need to have a healthy digestive system or gut health in order to have great health. Hence, we talked about the importance of understanding that if you don't have gut health, then you will not have good health. Because the job of our digestive system is to break down the food we eat into substances that, the various organs and cells in our body can use. And so to fully understand the health of your digestion, first of all, we need to understand two different stages of our digestion. So I'm going to be going through both of them one at a time. Okay, so the first, mechanical digestion. Right? Mechanical digestion is starting off with the first stage, that you chew your food in the mouth, because a lot of people, when they think about digestion, the first thing that they think about is their stomach. In fact, that's not true, because, as soon as you put any type of food into your mouth and as you chew it, that is already the beginning of your mechanical digestion. So just imagine right now, give yourself like 10 seconds, close your eyes and think about a lemon, say for example. If you think about the lemon and just imagine yourself putting that lemon into your mouth, even before you actually, chew it or drink any lemon water, your saliva will already be sort of making you feel like that feeling of sourness, right? So that is already the mechanical digestion. Then as you swallow whatever food that you eat, I would imagine a majority of us, particularly those of us in Australia, would have had dinner. So as you swallowed whatever food that you had for your dinner, then it would, of course, go into your stomach. And that is really the third stage of our mechanical digestion, where the food then will hang out in your stomach actually for hours before, they would pass to your small and large intestine, which is the second stage of our digestion. And when that happens, basically in the stomach, enzymes in our body, in our stomach, will actually get to work by breaking down whatever foods like proteins and fiber and carbohydrates, whatever that you are eating, that our body can use. And the stomach also kills a lot of the bad bacteria in the process. And did you know that even before we eat, as I mentioned, our body's digestive action already begins to take place. When you smell something yummy, whether it's a steak, whether it's a salad, whatever it is, when you smell something really yummy, it already activates your salivary gland. And that is what we call the mouth-watering experience. And that is the beginning of our digestion. So the second part of our digestion is the chemical digestion, which is the stage 4 and 5, where it goes into your small and large intestine, right? So the first part of the intestine, being the small intestine, with the chemical digestion, works with the liquids from the liver and pancreas to continue to break down the food we eat. And then the second part, it will get absorbed from the intestine into our body through the blood. So that is pretty much, the final stage, where the large intestine, the food will then be absorbed later on to leave the body's waste. Okay? So that is basically the whole digestion, the process. Now, there are actually 4 what we call hallmarks of digestive health. When you think about whether your digestion or your gut is healthy or not, these 4 hallmarks are extremely important. First up is, how effective your digestion and absorption of food is. You need to be able to really effectively digest and absorb your nutrients, which means that, you need to have good gut biota on demand, or on board, right? So you need to actually be eating a diet rich in color. As a transition lifestyle weight management coach, I always tell my students and clients that if you eat vegetables, don't just eat green, leafy green vegetables. You need to eat, foods rich in color, or you call it eat a rainbow, you see. Then that way you'll be able to get not only the plant enzymes, but vital nutrients, vital chemicals to help your body to have great combination of the nutrients that your body would need. Then, of course, if you want to have good gut health, then you would not want to have any kind of what we call GI illness. GI is gastrointestinal illness. The absence of the GI concern is really crucial in our digestive health, because a lot of times, people do have illnesses and, concerns along their GI, which is basically what we call the gut from your mouth until the rectum. The whole tract is what the GI is. Then the third hallmark of a healthy digestion is healthy gut microbiome. So what that is, if you don't have a diet rich in color or rainbow diet, you need to then add plant enzymes through supplementation into your diet. So that is one of the ways that we can work with you to support a healthy gut microbiome and a healthy gut barrier. So I would encourage you to, go to the person who invited you tonight to discuss how we can help you with that. And last but not least is, of course, an effective immune system function. In fact, our digestion and our immunity are closely and intimately connected together. The real heavy lifter here is not, just about the gut, but the whole body immunity. And so basically, it's not going to be just detox, although detoxification is an extremely important part of that, which in fact in 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing another seminar like this on just detoxification as part and parcel of our TLS first week. But tonight, our main focus is the whole of the gut health and digestion. But really, to be healthy, we need to have, healthy gut microbiome, and ultimately that would lead to healthy immune system. So did you know that in Australia alone, but I'm not surprised, the statistic would be more or less the same in Asia and even US, that half of the population complain about some kind of digestive problems in the last 12-month period. So we've got, let me have a look, nearly 60 people on this call right now. If you don't mind typing into the group chat in the last 12 months or so since the start of the pandemic, how many of you have experienced some form of gut issues or digestive discomfort? Can you type it up? Anything that you've experienced, even as simple as bloating after your Christmas meal or Chinese New Year meal. I know that a lot of us have just been through Chinese New Year, right? And so anything that you've experienced, you can just put it there, because as I have read all around the world, really, more than half of the population would experience some sort of issues. And I can see, yep, different types of bloating, food poisoning, acid reflux, etc., right? Thank you for sharing, guys. So 35% of the total energy consumed by a daily Aussie was from foods with little nutritional value. When I see that, as a certified licensed nutritionist, it really hurts me to see that, because, my real mission in life and purpose or vision statement is to be able to help people with total well-being. And of course, nutrition is part and parcel of that. And imagine 35 people out of 100, when they eat something, it's actually of little nutritional value. Is that you? And then 1 in 4 Australian adults, which is 25%, are not eating their veggies daily. We need at least 5 to 9 servings a day. And I've done this kind of, workshops and TLS workshops for years already. And every time when I ask people, do you eat 5 to 9 servings of vegetable every day? I can tell you, even those that are going through my TLS classes, they don't. They need extra help with like complete greens and other things. So 1 in 4. And then 30% of Aussies are eating less fruit and veggies again, compared to 15 years ago. And only 7% of Aussies are eating the daily recommended 5 servings of vegetables. Now, again, this is the statistics I've got from Australia, but I'm not surprised it's more or less the same in Asia Pacific as well. And because of that, a lot of us go through difficulties in, as we mentioned, the issues that some of you have typed in there, whether it's bloating, digestion, acid reflux, even diarrhea, etc. But a lot of that has got a lot to do with what you see here. Poor eating habits is something that we bring on ourselves. You can't blame others because we've actually gone into some not so good habits without eating. And as a result, and of course, you can see that vicious cycle here. We get gas, we get bloating, we get stomach cramps, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, etc., heartburn, right? And then incomplete digestion as a result of that. So then, there are a lot of risk factors. If you are people that don't look after your digestive health, it could be to do with the food that you eat, your lifestyle, or some people, as they age, you can see that digestion can become worse and worse because of aging as well. And family history has a lot to do with it as well. So that, let's say, if your parents, your grandparents have the history of a digestive disorder, then it's quite likely because of genetics that you might experience that as well. So when it comes to gut health, there are 2 areas, as you can see here, 1 and 2, that are extremely important to understand. First of all, what is the gut? Well, as I mentioned, the gut is the common term, but, scientifically it's called gastrointestinal tract, right? Basically the digestive system. And it starts from the mouth, the minute that you put any food into your mouth, that is the beginning of your gut entrance. And then it ends at the rectum towards the end where, your food or the, waste will be passed out. So basically that is the gut. And then you need to also understand the function of the gut microbiome, because, as we see on the right-hand side, there is a bit of explanation there that it plays a very important role in your health by helping control digestion and also benefit your immune system. Again, this is an extremely important concept that you need to be aware of, and that is your gut health, your digestive health, or the health of your gastrointestinal tract is intricately and intimately related to your immune system. So that's why while, COVID, the pandemic, and a lot of issues of immunity, we do need to look after our gut as well. And so an imbalance or an unhealthy microbes, or what we call the microbiome in the intestines, may contribute to weight gain. So that's why, as a weight loss coach and trainer, I always talk to people about the importance of them looking after their digestive health or the gut health. Because again, if you don't look after it, then weight gain can be, something that is very common. And of course, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and other disorders would be the result of it as well. So as you can see, extremely important for us to look after our digestive health and our gut health, right? So there are common gut-related disorders and that we need to be aware of. And I'm sure quite a number of you have already typed in the group chat when I asked you about, some kind of digestive discomfort. They may be just as simple as bloating, but then when it comes to disorders or diseases, apart from constipation, we've got other diseases that are very, very common this day and age, including Crohn's disease, celiac, and lactose intolerance, etc., etc. So in order for us to actually have a healthy gut, we need to look at some of the points, as you can see on the right-hand side. You need to have a diverse diet, include fermented foods and reduce stress. So varies the foods that you eat on a daily basis. Consume fiber-rich foods such as fruits and vegetables, as well as whole grains and fermented foods. And also, it's not only about the foods that you eat, but also the stress that you experience, because it has an impact on the tiny bugs that is living in your gut. And lifestyle is extremely important as well. So that's why when we help people to reach their wellness and weight loss goals, we don't just talk about diet, because diet can be yo-yo dieting, meaning you can go up and down. In fact, I always say that diet, the first 3 letters starts with die. So don't just look at diet, look at having a healthy lifestyle, which becomes part and parcel of your life. And that is also something to be aware of when you're looking at your digestive health as well. Okay, so if you have poor digestion, then you will have the following experience and effects. Number one is incomplete digestion of foods can cause a build-up of waste in your colon that can ferment and putrefy, which is so really not good for your health, right? And then you really need to limit the colon's ability to absorb any additional nutrients or fluids. Because of that, it actually would hinder your peristaltic movement, meaning that your body is not going to be having real good gut movement or bowel movement. And because of that, the result is the increase of constipation. It's becoming so common, constipation these days, because of the fact that a lot of our absorption of the nutrients are limited. And then optimal digestion and elimination should be a priority in every single one of our wellness approach and regimen. If your digestion, if your gut health is not optimal, and if you're not able to eliminate the waste, then you will not be healthy because of the poor digestion. And of course, one thing that as a nutritionist, I always talk to my clients and my students the importance of digestive enzymes. Whether you obtain those digestive enzymes from the food that you consume or from supplementation, extremely important, because the key for good gut health is to help our body to better digest the foods that you eat before they reach our colon as waste to be passing out. So to do that, besides having a good balanced diet, as I mentioned, a diverse diet with supplementation is also extremely helpful, because it will help us to improve our digestion and also reduce the toxicity in the intestines and colon. And hence, we always recommend people to go through detox. Detoxification and cleanse of our body is extremely important, just like a car. If you actually need to service your car to make it run better, you do need to cleanse your oil, and it's the same with our body. It doesn't matter whether you're overweight, you have the ideal weight, or you're underweight. Detox and cleansing of your body is extremely important. So that's why reducing toxicity is part and parcel of having good health. And finally, of course, to improve your elimination and reduce constipation is also important. And that's what digestive enzymes can help us do. Now, digestive enzymes is something that we recommend as something that you would take from food as well as from supplementation. So what they do, you can see here, they've got a lot of good functions. It would provide the necessary enzymes to adequately support the body's ability to digest food. As we mentioned, our foods need to be digested in order for them to be absorbed. Right, and so that's why it's extremely important. And it also, with digestive enzymes, help us to promote the breakdown of all the nutrients, including proteins, complex macromolecules, macronutrients, and all that will be converted into energy sources. So if you need to have good energy sources, then of course food, the breakdown of it is extremely important as well. And of course, releasing the nutrients from the foods into your body. And finally, digestive enzymes can help us to support the absorption and utilization of the nutrients. So that is extremely important. Now, here is what, as personally someone that take the Isotonix products, and I've done a lot of reading and research about the differences of different supplements, because not all supplements are created equal. The reason why personally I advocate Isotonix, and many people who've ever taken it would also recommend that, is because not only is it the world's most advanced nutraceutical, it also has superior bioavailability. As you can see this slide here, if you compare, the Isotonic Liquid, basically what it is a powder-based supplement in Isotonix. For those of you who are guests who may not have seen the Isotonix products or the supplements, is that with the powder, if you add the right amount of water, it will then become an isotonic liquid. And so it can actually, iso means the same tonics is fluid pressure, just like your sweat, your tears, and your blood or your plasma. So when it goes into your stomach, when you drink it, it will go into your stomach without needing to be digested. And then within minutes, it will then be digested and absorbed into your bloodstream really quickly. So up the top, as you can see, the Isotonix is rapidly absorbed by the body with high concentration of whatever that is providing you, whether it's vitamins, minerals, or antioxidants, with maximum results. So that's why within minutes you would get that. However, if you take the standard tablets, capsules, or gel, it will take you with an elapsed time anywhere between 40 minutes to even 4 or 5 hours. And not only that, if you look at some of the research and laboratory result, a lot of it, because of the tablets with the fillers and binders and coatings, it doesn't even get absorbed and goes back out through the colon, and it's really a waste. So typically we would get about 95% of the Isotonix nutrients into our bloodstream to be absorbed and used for our body, whereas with tablets it would be maybe 25 to 35% max. So if you compare that, it's really superior in terms of the bioavailability. So before I do that, I would like to now invite one of my personal good friend and customer, Heath. Okay, and Heath Bryce is actually, let me just put him on as pin sharing. He's going to be sharing a very unique experience that he has had, and that is he used to have a lap band, and there was a stage where the Isotonix products were the only thing that he was able to use and absorb. So Heath, I'll pass the time for you to share.
Good evening, everyone. Basically, getting the lap band was the biggest mistake I ever made. There's I think there's a reason why there's only a 60% success rate. But what happened was it got to a point where I literally couldn't keep anything down. I was throwing up everything I was eating. It got so bad at one point I couldn't even keep down water. So water would, stick where the band was, and I'd throw up the water. But my isotonic cocktail was able to get through the tiny little hole that it left. So it's what I swear that's what kept me out of hospital. Like, had I not had isotonics, I would have been dreadfully ill. Yeah.
Yes, and since then, of course, Heath has been using the Isotonic products with great success in helping him improve his health, hasn't it, Heath?
Yes, absolutely. I look forward to my morning cocktail because the vitamin B is the only thing which sort of perks me up. So, yeah. I lost when I was at a point where I couldn't eat anything. I lost like 30-something kilos.
Yes.
But it was because I was throwing everything down.
Yes.
bring everything
So
up.
what pill are you taking right now, Heath?
So
I'd like to know. Yeah.
I take OPC3, vitamin B, magnesium, isochrome, and digestive enzymes.
That's right. That's right. So wonderful. So thank you for sharing, Heath. I appreciate it. And again, I know that with our guests and our audience here, quite a number of you may have had experiences with taking the Isotonics. If you've got a good experience, by all means, share it in the group chat so that other people can also see your testimonial. So next, I would like to share with you the Isotonix products where, okay, just go to the slide. Okay, here we are. So Isotonix digestive enzymes, as I mentioned previously, you know, the enzymes are extremely important for our gut health. And at times, if we are not able to actually do you know, the enzymes that we have in our body to help you, then you might have experienced, as we mentioned, some of the people have written here, like bloating or, you know, gut issues. So hence, you know, the digestive enzymes, something that we highly recommend. And so what it does, it actually promotes healthy digestion and supports digestion of nutrients and relieves symptoms of stomach upsets. In fact, personally, I've experienced that, you know, when I have certain, you know, stomach upsets or discomfort, when I take digestive enzymes, you know, it always helps me to relieve symptoms. And in fact, this is my husband's favorite product. And it also enhances immunity on top of your digestive health. And it's also got amazing, you know, plethora combination of, you know, the enzymes that are available is multi-enzyme blend of amylase, protease, cellulase. All that might not mean much to you, but just to let you know that everything that are put together in one formulation of the Isotonix digestive enzymes can help you, you know, have the best bioavailability in terms of digestion. So one serving supplies actually over 100 milligrams of key digestive enzymes. So in a nutshell, really, this digestive enzyme, you know, offers optimal digestion, and it also eliminates, you know, a lot of the ways that you may you don't want to be sort of stuck into your system. And so it's really, truly something that we need to be aware of and use digestive enzyme to help you with your wellness approach. And it helps to keep our digestive health on track. And one of the things I'd like to draw your attention is that the digestive enzyme is really unique because it has got the trademark blend of all those digestive enzymes that I was sharing with you that actually make supporting our gut health efficient and convenient. So now next, I'd like to invite my business partner and good friend, Ken Fong, to share his personal experience of how the digestive enzymes in Isotonix form has been able to help him improve his health. Ken.
Hi, everyone. I quite enjoy the flavor of the digestive enzymes. It's got a nice, like, lemony flavor. And for me, I tend to have it after dinner and typically after a larger meal. So I find that actually, yeah, it sort of supercharges or boosts my digestion. A completely unexpected benefit actually that I discovered was quite a few months back. I geeked out and I bought myself like a sleep ring so I could actually, you know, monitor my sleep and do all kinds of nerdy things with it. And I found that on the days that I'd have the digestive enzyme, actually I could see an improvement in sleep. So it perplexed me a little bit until when you think about it, it kind of makes sense because it speeds up your digestion. It empties your stomach, your GI actually clears up. And if you know, those of you who know about sleep, you actually do need to sort of finish off all these processes before your sleep hormones kick in. So that was a real bonus for me. Quite enjoy it. Certainly, the primary benefit I find is that, you know, I don't feel bloated after a large meal. you actually I actually feel like my stomach is more at ease after I have it. So I have it. It's one of my son's favorite little isotonics as well, and that's my story. Thanks, Kitty.
Thank you, Ken. Well, in fact, I know that many of our audience here is still celebrating Chinese New Year because it's only what, day 10, I think. Is that right? Day 10? No, they don't remember. I lost count already. Day 13, right? Of Chinese New Year, and we're still, I know some people, yep, day 13, that, thank you, Judy, eating a fair bit of perhaps, rich, fatty, unhealthy type food. And not that I recommend that, but if you do, no, it's something that is sort of not the most healthy, then digestive enzyme before and after can certainly help you have a bit of at ease feeling, like Ken talked about. And I know that that's certainly the case for a lot of friends of mine who have been eating good food during the Chinese New Year. Now, next, I would like to share with you another one of my favorite, all-time favorite digestive gut health first aid, and that is this, the Ultimate Aloe. In fact, I drink it every single day without fail, whether I need any digestive support or not, because I just love it and it helps me with a lot of different positive benefits. But really, it has over 200 nutrients, enzymes, vitamins, minerals, including 13 of 17 essential minerals needed for good nutrition. And with the Ultimate Aloe, we've got 3 flavors. We've got the natural flavor, the strawberry and kiwi fruit flavor, and cranberry and apple flavor. Typically, most people like, the flavored, Ultimate Aloe with strawberry and kiwi fruit or cranberry and apple. But personally, I really quite like the natural flavor because it does help with detoxification, cleansing of my body. That's my favorite. But no matter what, maybe, those of you who've ever drunk any of the Ultimate Aloe, you can just type into the group chat, what team are you? Are you team natural, team strawberry and kiwi, or team cranberry or apple? Type it in there, let me know, okay? But really, it doesn't matter which one, all of them, all 3 flavors, contains organically grown natural aloe leaf plus extra, aloe leaf and 50% of the aloe powder, which is really amazing, and it tastes great. And if you think about the Australian bottle, it works out to be just over $2 per serving, which is, half of a cup of coffee a day. However, it actually gives you so much in terms of nutrients, like 200 on its own. It's just amazing. So what I'd like to share with you is really, some of the benefits of the typical aloe is all about. Like the aloe plant, right, has been used to promote health for thousands of years. I'm sure all of you know about what aloe can do for you. But really, when it comes to an overall benefits, it has laxative properties and it's very soothing to your lining, to your gut, to your GI, your digestion. And it's great for both constipation and diarrhea, one or the other. And actually, a lot of digestive issues have been reported using, particularly our Ultimate Aloe juice to help them, reach a lot of the this, reduction of the digestive discomfort. So it's really healing and it's helpful for anything from acid reflux to heartburn relief to lessen symptoms of GERD and lower blood pressure. And that is the one that I would like to particularly draw your attention, on the 3rd dot point there, because, there's been something, a study has been done about that, where it's shown that, Ultimate Aloe can actually help lower blood sugar level. And if you drink 2 tablespoons of the ultimate aloe juice, doesn't matter which of the 3 flavors, for 2 weeks. You know, this study has shown that people have experienced, you know, the blood sugar levels, particularly those with type 2 diabetes, with lower blood sugar level. And I can say that for sure because my mom used to have high sugar level, borderline, you know, diabetic. She started drinking, you know, the ultimate aloe along with other supplements really help her to get back to normal. So one thing that I truly want to be sharing with you guys, you know, as certified nutritionist, I'm so proud to be really promoting, you know, the ultimate aloe because of the fact that it boasts what we call IASC, which is very unique and international aloe science council. So it's actually a very unique seal that certifies aloe content to be top of the range and to show that it's really of the top purity. And so basically the ultimate aloe contains this active aloe to enhance the biological activity, but also free of any nasties. Things like aloe and aloe. And a lot of people say, well, if I actually have aloe plants, then I can just drink or take, you know, the content from there. But, you know, if you just take it directly from an aloe plant, you know, what's in there, the nasties like the aloe, the aloe can actually cause you to have negative effects like diarrhea and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why it's extremely important to drink aloe at its best form, which in this case, because we have the seal of IASC, we can be sure that, you know, it's of top of the range quality. And our ultimate aloe juice is harvested and processed, you know, according to the strictest quality standards to ensure that the body receives maximum benefits. So that's why it's very important as you choose the aloe juice, because there are so many out there, to choose what is suitable and the best. And so now I would like to invite another one of my business partners, Diana Yap from Malaysia. And she is someone that I've been working alongside for quite a while now, particularly starting off with transition lifestyle system weight management solution, but she's also had quite a lot of issues and experiences with digestive and gut health issues. And since, you know, using our digestive products as well as ultimate aloe, she's actually improved a lot. So Diana, why don't you share with us your experiences?
Right. Hi, Kitty. Hi, everybody. Okay, I suffered from gastritis from a very young age of 20 plus because of my lifestyle. I do not eat regular basis and things like that, eat whenever I like, eat whatever I like. So besides that, I started getting migraines. So painkillers came in, and painkillers really, you know, caused it to have worse gastric pains. And you know, it was so bad that I had to had so much medication. And actually I can't eat anything. When you eat something, within half an hour you will feel extreme pain in your gastric areas. It's like you can't digest the food at all, you know. So as I grew older, and now I'm in my 50s, it became worse. I had gastric reflux instead. I had GERD. The first attack that I had, it was so bad, I thought I had a heart attack because the whole chest was being like blown open. It was so painful for me. I was rolling on the floor, you know, and I ended up in emergency. And because the doctor thought I had a heart attack, so I had to go for EKG, you know, check out my heartbeat and so on and so forth. But in the end, they couldn't find anything, and I was sent home with gastric medicine, which didn't help at all. You know, it just kept continuing. It just kept coming because I can't digest my food. Anything that I eat, I threw up. So when I started doing TLS, I checked with Kitty my problem. And Kitty told me, oh, aloe is very good. So I took that, and what I did was I diluted aloe and I into a big tumbler, and I drank that the whole day.
Just like
I
that.
had that, yeah, I drank that the whole day. I had that for the whole day. Yeah, and it relieves it, because every time I ate, I noticed that, okay, it soothed the stomach. I didn't get such a big cramp after eating. It slowly went off. And of course, I added the digestive enzymes and stuff like that. And during my very, very bad days, I actually drank shakes instead of eating a full, protein meal, because my stomach just didn't want to accept the chicken or even the fish. It was just too awful for me. So protein was just a good replacement
Yes.
for it at that time. Yeah, and it helped me so greatly to find relief for me, and I didn't have to take medication this time. I'm so glad.
I hear that.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you,
Mm.
Diana, for sharing, because like I can tell everyone here, my hand on my heart, it gives me more joy seeing someone like Diana having had such suffering with, her gut issues, to now with the help of the amazing supplementations, and of course TLS also plays a part to it, doesn't it, that she's now really getting healthier and healthier. And so that's just something that really gives me joy and happiness to see that you're so much healthier, Diana. So keep at it, my friend. All right, so now I would like to just continue on real quick, introducing my partner, who is going to be sharing the second part of our presentation, Dr. Christine House. Some of you know her as Christine D. Pasquale. She has a Bachelor of Applied Science Human Biology at the RMIT and Bachelor of Applied Science Clinical Science, as well as Bachelor of Chiropractic Science with honors with the RMIT, and Certificate 4 in Breastfeeding Education with the Australian Breastfeeding Association. So her profession and career now is as a chiropractor, as well as a breastfeeding counselor. And she's also, like myself, an internet franchise owner with shop.com. She's a TLS coach and Motives Beauty advisor as well. So without further ado, I just want to ask you all to give my good friend and wonderful fellow health professional, Dr. Christine, a big hand. Here you are. On to you, Chris.
Thank you, Kitty. That was a nice welcome. Thanks for your
Did you hear my clap?
Thank you for your sharing. Let me go and share my screen now. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about common gut problems. So I get the lower end of the digestive tract. So I'm going to be talking to you a lot about some of these conditions. So let's just have a look here. There we go. Oh, we'll go back up one. So I'm going to be going through a little bit about ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, disease, sorry about my spelling error, bowel infection, tips on for a healthier gut, and probiotics. So first of all, so why I'm talking about these gut problems is because, I guess as a health professional as well, we hear of these conditions and complaints very frequently in practice. And I realised, just talking to friends as well, they have many friends who suffer from these conditions, or they themselves have some of the symptoms very common to do with gut disorders. So I think it's very important to have a chat about all of these different conditions so we can highlight the common symptoms. But at the end, I'm going to be giving you some tips and talking quite a bit about probiotics, which I'm sure you've had some information before, but I'd really like to share some about the probiotics we have to offer. So, ulcerative colitis, got some pretty pictures there. Ulcerative colitis is an inflammatory bowel disease. So it actually, there's quite a few inflammatory bowel diseases, and we're going to be talking about some of those today. So it's caused by deemed to be caused by an abnormal immune reaction or response to bacteria or virus that actually attacks our digestive cells. You get an overproduction of inflammation and you can get ulcers. So if we look at this healthy gut on the right-hand side, the normal colon, so this is actually just affecting our large intestine, which you can see in that circle picture. The red inflamed area is the very lower part of our large intestine. It usually affects the rectum and works its way up. So the normal colon has these nice, soft, smooth surfaces, allowing the food to pass nicely out. You can see with ulcerative colitis, tiny sores and ulcers, and it looks ouch. It actually, the inflammation in the gut causes a lot of discomfort and pain. So people with ulcerative colitis might have symptoms of diarrhea. They might have a lot of just abdominal pain. They might even have rectal bleeding, diarrhea with pus or blood, which is very nice. And because of the issues with passing a lot of waste, sometimes weight loss, malabsorption, and even frequency of bowel movements as well. So it's not a very nice condition to have at all. It can be aggravated by food. So alcohol can aggravate, so can caffeine, carbonated drinks, even some dairy products, especially those with lactose intolerance, which can really flare it up. Peas, legumes, and dried beans. So being aware of foods that can aggravate it is important. Changes to lifestyle and diet, which we'll talk a little bit about later, can definitely help control the sort of the length of the condition and the time between flare-ups as well. So moving on now to Crohn's disease. So we talked about ulcerative colitis being isolated to that large intestine. You can see on the right-hand picture, in terms of the large intestine, rather than being all involved, it's patchy. So this can actually be anywhere from our mouth, as Kitty talked about. Our digestion begins in our mouth, or even outside the mouth, doesn't it, with those foods that sends off the salivary glands. So we can get things like ulcers in the mouth, inflammation, skin irritations, we can get achy joints and swelling, any inflammation or irritation that has to build up all throughout the whole tract. But we're going to talk largely, I guess, now about that large intestine and small intestine. So it can affect part or all of the digestive tract. I guess the symptoms can be mild for some people, and others they can be so debilitating they're actually almost life-threatening. So it's a very serious condition, and sometimes can be quite difficult to diagnose as well. It's linked in with a lot of just put under the bracket of inflammatory bowel disease. But it's important to know what part of the body is being affected. So comparing ulcerative colitis to Crohn's disease, remember ulcerative colitis is just that lower part of the digestive tract. Crohn's is all parts of the bowel, but even all the way up to the mouth. Moving on to celiac disease. Now, this is one that can be really, really difficult to diagnose, and often there's lots of blood tests and swabs and biopsies, all sorts of things, because people have such huge range of symptoms. It can start with headaches, it might start with lots of emotional, anxiety, depression. If children get it, it can actually stunt their growth because of the malabsorption. So if we go and have a look at this picture on the right-hand side, you can see it's actually looking at a little section of, or a cross-section of part of the digestive tract. So anywhere along that tract. And you can see, especially in the stomach, there's these little villi, little hair-like protections in the normal bowel. They look like little fingers. They actually increase the surface area in the gut. So they actually allow you to absorb all your nutrients. If you look at celiac disease, because it's an inflammatory bowel disease, the inflammation actually wears away at those little villi. It breaks them down and basically just, the inflammation just flattens them. So we end up with the surface areas reduced, and our ability to actually absorb our food is reduced as well. Hence, we can have malabsorption, we can have weight loss, we can have bone issues as well. And again, you can get similar to celiac disease, you can get that, so similar to Crohn's disease, it can affect all the way from top to bottom. But the big thing to know with this one is why. So celiac disease is linked to gluten. So it's actually an immune reaction that the body has to gluten. Now, gluten is a protein that's found in wheat, barley, and rye. So you hear a lot of people say, I'm gluten-free, or I have a reaction to gluten. Some might just get a few gut symptoms when they have gluten products. Celiac disease, if you have gluten, it can set off diabolical consequences and pain and discomfort, and you can almost end up in hospital. It's that severe. So it's a diagnosed disease. So in fact, 1 in 70 people actually have it, but only 4 out of 5 people are undiagnosed. So it's such a difficult disease to diagnose. And many people go with all these symptoms: diarrhea, loose stools, flatulence, vomiting, distended bowel, weight loss, headaches, all these symptoms, and it takes them a long time to uncover the reasons. So a really important disease to be aware of. So we talked about bloating, flatulence. It can also decrease your iron and your B12 levels as well, lead to osteoporosis. Some people don't have any symptoms at all, but as soon as they have gluten, it triggers them. So once they're aware of gluten being an issue and they keep a strict gluten diet, it can really help. But as we'll talk about later, some of those digestive products, especially that Kitty talked about in regards to the digestive enzymes and the aloe, you can imagine how healing that would be in the gut, to have all this inflammation and no ability to absorb nutrients. So really, really important. Let's have a look now at, there we go, some other bowel infections. So we've talked about all of the chronic symptoms down the bottom, so the Crohn's, celiac disease, ulcerative colitis. There's also a big bracket called irritable bowel syndrome, and that's a really chronic inflammation of the whole intestinal tract, or the intestinal tract. Some of the acute ones you'd be aware of: gastro. When Kitty was talking about aloe, it actually made me think how many patients we get that coming back from holidays who've had gastro, or the opposite. They've had really bad constipation on holidays, and they come back in and they're wanting to grab the aloe or grab something. It's a really good one to take with you on holidays. So gastro is another acute bowel infection, or stomach flu, E. coli, Helicobacter pylori, etc. So there's lots of different infections that it can affect the bowel. So what do we do? Kitty's touched on a few of these already, and diet, obviously, we're aware of how important diet is. But one of the things that's important is, for a lot of people, irritating dairy can actually be a big irritator. So it can eliminate, if we can eliminate or decrease the dairy in our, eliminate or decrease dairy can help keep some of the symptoms at bay. It can actually improve diarrhea and abdominal pain, reducing dairy. Eating more fibre, vegetables and fruit. So Kitty, as Kitty mentioned, rainbow of colours is really, really important to eat. And eating smaller meals. So it just doesn't put so much pressure and doesn't overwhelm the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, as much. So if we eat slower meals, slower release of acid, and it's not around for such prolonged periods of time. So instead of having maybe 2 or 3 to 4 meals a day, having 5 to 6 small meals a day can actually help reduce some of the symptoms. Chewing the food thoroughly, as Kitty mentioned. Drinking plenty of water, so flushing out any toxins and helps with inflammation. Managing stress. Now that's a really big one, and Kitty's going to talk a bit more later about the correlation between gut health and gut and brain relationship. But exercise is a great way to reduce stress. So if you're sedentary, you've got a lot of bowel issues, a lot of those symptoms we've talked about, just getting out and walking around the block, even walking up and down your house, up and down the hallway, just helps get the blood flowing, helps get the digestion moving, not digestive tract moving, but helps the bowel. It can actually lessen and reduce some of the symptoms. Can actually also help with relieving some of if anyone has any depression, any emotional issues, and it can normalise bowel function. So exercise is really, really crucial. It can also, we might look at relaxation and breathing techniques as well, exercises, and we might look at books, read DVDs, something to just calm and soothe. Actually has a really positive impact on our digestive tract. But one of the things we're talking about mostly, which has an amazing impact, are our supplements and probiotics. So that is what I would love to talk to you guys about tonight. So healthy gut means a healthy you. So we get healthy, we've heard Ken talk about healthy gut and how it helps him with sleep. Definitely the digestive enzymes. I've actually had that experience as well, Ken. Energy levels can improve when we've got better gut health. Our overall mood and well-being and our joy. Skin, you often see people who have lots of beautiful supplements have beautiful skin. Obviously, metabolism and digestion's improved as well. So, do you have a healthy gut? So, if Kitty's sort of got you guys, if you've noticed by having any of the products, what things you've noticed improve. So, things like on that sheet there, you know, your skin, your metabolism. If anyone has any really great gut wins, I guess, from having good gut health by taking any of the supplements, if they wanted to share in the chat as well, some of the things that they've found beneficial, that would be really good. All right, now probiotics. I would love to talk to you about probiotics. So good bacteria, you've heard of good bacteria. Probiotics was talked about a lot. It's a live bacteria or yeast. So they're in fact good for you. Everyone hears the word bacteria and it kind of gives a negative connotation. We often think, the bad guys. But we actually have to have healthy bacteria in our gut as well. So it's the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria actually work to maintain optimal bacterial balance in the digestive tract with numerous health benefits, which we've talked about promoting digestion, but also, as Kitty touched on, immune health. They're often called the good guys or the helpful bacteria. It's really, really important for understanding that 70 to 80% of your immune function is actually, or your immune system, I should say, is actually found in your digestive tract. So you're thinking about your immune function. We talk about overall health and the importance of gut, but your immune health is what fights everything and looks after you and protects you. So if we've got good bacteria in our bodies, serving that 70 to 80% of our immune system via good digestion, we're on a winner. Heavily researched options maintaining balance are the probiotics. So they're a very well-researched product. And they actually help maintain healthy colonization of bacteria within the gut ecosystem. Just can't see everyone's chat here at the moment. Can't get across to it. Let's have a look. I feel like I'm missing out and I can't see the chat as well. All right. So probiotics support the digestive system, help with immune function, but they also neutralize any harmful bacteria. So you've heard people say go on antibiotics. Really good to have probiotics to counteract. Antibiotics might kill the bad bacteria, but they also kill the good guys as well. So probiotics are essential for rebuilding and replenishing our good bacteria. So exposure to toxins, environmental toxins, lifestyle factors like stress, not enough exercise, excessive alcohol, unhealthy diets, they all can strip our gut of those healthy bacteria. So probiotics are really, really important. I want to talk to you particularly tonight about Probiotics 10. So if you've had this product before, I'd love you to give a little, pop a little testimonial in there if you like. But Probiotic 10 being in relationship to the most common and studied probiotic strains. So I have another sheet with all the 10 lactobacillus and bifido strains, all of them listed and their specific benefits as well, if you'd like to know. They each have a unique benefit and each support optimal digestive health. And the formula actually works synergistically. So it supports numerous areas of health, from immunity to stomach comfort, bowel regularity, and it helps keep your gut health. Now, one thing that's exceptionally important to understand about our probiotics is the live back technology and the BioTrack technology. So the live back technology is actually a unique tableting process. So it delivers very high viability of the probiotic and it makes it less susceptible to any environmental factors. So it actually extends the shelf life. So a lot of probiotics, people are wondering, in a capsule, isn't it going to lose its effectiveness, or how can they be live bacteria in a capsule, in a container that you can keep at room temperature? You don't have to keep them in the fridge, unlike a lot of probiotics. So it's very useful for people who are finding, maintaining their other forms of probiotics very difficult. Because of this live back technology. So it's a really unique patented system that we have in our Probiotics 10. The other one is BioTract. So it actually protects the probiotic organisms from stomach acid as they go down into the intestinal tract. So you actually absorb a significantly higher percentage of the organisms using this technology. So you'd be aware, once probiotics enter the stomach, the acids just can break down and destroy a lot of those healthy bacteria. So you might think you're getting lots and lots of strains, but in fact, they're diminished by the time they're ready to be absorbed. So we actually have tens of trillions of bacteria from over 500 different species of bacteria within our gastrointestinal tract, which is incredible. So we've picked the top 10 that do amazing benefits. I actually have a few testimonials that I'll just read out. I wasn't able to get these guys, but one person said from practice, the best probiotic on the market, if you understand the science behind Probiotic 10, you'll understand why it is one of the best ones on the market. Your gut is your foundation, your root system, your second brain, which I love because we're going to be touching on that later. So that really resonated with me looking at this testimonial. Your health begins and ends in your gut. Make this supplement a priority in your life. So I thought that was a really good testimonial. I have got loads of information, like I mentioned, on the strains. The other one I just wanted to mention, and people sometimes get confused when to take the Probiotics 10 versus our other product, which is our Nutriclean Probiotic. It is a probiotic containing 10 strains, just like Probiotic 10, and it also has the technology of the live back and the BioTract technology as well. So it's a really amazing product. We recommend taking this one if you're doing maybe a TLS program along with Kitty or myself or anyone else in the team, that when you're starting out cleansing your digestive tract for the first time, we recommend starting with a detox and then using these particular probiotics to start your probiotic journey. So these would be a really good one to start when we're doing a really good cleanse. And then I would look at, after you finish the 30 serves, to continue on with the Probiotics 10. Probiotics, I should have mentioned earlier, you actually take them just before your first meal of the day. So you pop it in, easy to swallow, and then you have your main, your breakfast. So that is me done. So we've touched on a lot of the conditions that I'm sure many of you either have heard of. I don't know if you want to share any of the conditions you have particularly, but I think it's important to know that these are lurking everywhere, friends, neighbours, family members. So it's so important to know and share with them some things that can help them with a lot of those terrible symptoms. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kitty. And I'll pass back over to you.
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Christine, for your wealth of knowledge and sharing about, the various amazing products that will help us with our gut health. And so just a very last little of our session tonight, I'm going to be sharing a particular area of interest for me, and I'm sure those of you who actually want to learn more about our gut health wants to learn more about as well, which is the connection between the gut and the brain. Okay, so the gut-brain communication is really the connection between our gut and our brain, whereby, it actually communicates with each other. In fact, as I've been reading up, the studies have found that the gut communicates more to the brain than the brain to the gut, in the sense of when it comes to healing of our body. So as you can see here, gut brain connection can link our emotions like anxiety, say for example, to digestion problems and vice versa. So that means our physical experience of the digestion and our emotional experiences of things like anxiety are actually linked together between the gut and the brain. So how many of you have heard of or experienced what we call the gut-wrenching experience? So, things like when you go through a tough times, or when you've seen someone that you love going through a tough times, or just recently a dear friend of mine suddenly, had a sudden death, on the night of, in fact, a week just after his birthday, suddenly passed out. And when he was admitted to hospital, he had ICU and later diagnosed with ruptured brain aneurysm. So that, to me, experience was gut-wrenching. So to me, it's sort of like an emotional response to a physical experience. So that's an example of that. And then you may have also experienced something like feeling nauseous. It might not even be a physical gut, digestive, GI tract experience, but because you're actually going through such an emotional state, where the brain is telling you, you can experience that kind of experience as well. And have you ever felt butterflies in your stomach? It's basically the physical sensation in our feelings of a sort of fluttery feeling in the stomach, whether it's like excitement or nervousness. When you get nervous, let's say before you go on a public speaking gig or something like that, that is the kind of butterflies in the stomach experiences that we all have had. And so basically, all of this expressions are not there for no reason, because, the gastrointestinal tract is sensitive to emotion. So as I mentioned, things like anger, anxiety, sadness, elation, all of that can really trigger symptoms in the gut. For those of you who actually were on Amy Poon last 2 weeks ago, when she was sharing about COVID-19, mental health and stress management, you would have seen some of the slides that she shared about gut-brain study that she did research on, where it shows that probiotics, like what Chris was just sharing about Probiotics 10 and some other probiotic products that we have with shop.com, has been shown to really erase symptoms of anxiety, depression, etc., etc. So that's why, it's very important, if you want to have great health with gut health, then, having products like what we've shared previously, like the digestive enzymes, the ultimate aloe, the probiotics, etc., can really help you as well. So I'd like to finally just close by just sharing with you that, as Chris already mentioned, our gut is really our second brain, and it's something that a lot of us are not aware of, but truly, the connection is really goes both ways. So a troubled, intestine can send signals to the brain, just as a troubled brain can also send signals to the gut. So therefore, a person's stomach, or intestine diseases or distress can actually cause issues one of the other. And then as you can see the picture on the right, it's from the integrative medicine, where it is talking about the communication network that goes on between the nervous system. And hence, Dr. Christine or Dr. Mark would be able to tell you, as chiropractor, how the nervous system is intricately also closely related to your gut health and your brain health as well. So especially true in case when someone experiences some gastrointestinal upset, etc. So basically, in conclusion, for tonight's session, I'd just like to share that, the problems that we may experience on, the gut issues or digestive discomfort, that if you experience that, of course, we're not here to diagnose or treat anything, but, you can talk to your doctors about it. But are your stomach or intestinal kind of problems causing you to have some symptoms, like some of us have experienced, like heartburn, abdominal cramps, loose stools, or constipation, diarrhea, etc. If that's the case, then you might want to really look at the gut brain connection. It may be to do with stress. Hence, even for me as a TLS coach and trainer, always talk about stress as one of the 5 factors and unhealthy behavioral modification. So watch for these, I would recommend, and also, other common symptoms, and be sure to come up with some of the strategies that Dr. Christine and myself share with you tonight, and we'll be able to deal with those. And I believe that there are often, small steps that can help us go towards better health. And we're really only, served by trying to change everything in our diet only, but the holistic health, simple intervention, and reduction of stress, etc. And of course, weight management has a lot to do with it as well. So thank you tonight for spending your time with Dr. Christine and myself. And because of time, we won't go through a Q&A session, but if you do have any question, every single one of you that have signed up to this webinar would have my email address already through your registration on Zoom. Feel free to email me back any question that you may have. Between me and Dr. Christine, we can, email back to you your answers. And of course, go back to the person who invited you to tonight's meeting. And if you would like to try out some of our amazing products that we've shared that many of our friends here have benefited from, I would definitely highly recommend it on top of a holistic approach to health through, good sleep, stress reduction and weight management, etc. So until next time, in 2 weeks, we're going to be sharing about detox and weight management, and feel free to come back. We're going to have regular Wednesday night information session like tonight. So thank you, everybody, for your participation and spending time with me. And thank you, Dr. Christine, for doing this with me tonight.
Thank you, my pleasure. So yeah, like you said, if you've got any questions, we try and finish a little bit over time tonight. So if there's any pressing questions, yeah, give us an email and we'll hopefully get back to you as soon as we can.
Absolutely. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care and stay safe and be well.
Thanks.
Bye
Kitty.
for now.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
please. Love ya. Bye-bye.
Bye, Kitty.
Bye.
Christine. Bye, Kitty.
Bye, Ken.
Bye, Ken.
Thank you.